Hello and welcome back to X-Plane 11. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. Today I am going to be flying, well, the aircraft that I tend to fly quite a bit, the PA-28R Arrow 3, and in this video I'm going to be doing something slightly different, just to get myself back into some practice, because I really do not fly these aircraft that much, and I do not have the time to fly it that much. One thing I haven't done much in this aircraft is fly crosswinds, so given that the weather is a little bit windy outside today, I am at Echo Golf Sierra Charlie, Sierra Charlie, which is Cambridge Airport, and I'm going to be doing a circuit at Cambridge Airport. No IFR flying. I'm not going to be using any autopilots. No radio references. All I'm going to be using is going to be my 6-pack of instruments, so my airspeed indicator, attitude indicator, altimeter, turn coordinator, direction indicator, and my vertical speed indicator, and I'm going to be using head tracking to be looking out the window as visual reference points, and Avitab as my map to show you guys where I'm going and what I'm doing as I go along. It should give me a bit of a chance to get into this. The wind is 290 at 15 knots, I believe, so given that I'm on runway 230, this should be giving me roughly a crosswind component of about 12 to 13 knots. So it is going to be pretty rough, I think. And let's see if I can remember how to fly the crosswinds. Just get back into it. It's been a very long time. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Hopefully nothing goes too awry. But there is going to obviously be a little bit of trouble, because that happens when you're rusty with these sorts of things. Right, with the aircraft started up, here we go. This is the plan for today. I'm going to be taking off here, runway 23 at Cambridge Airfield. In fact, or Cambridge Airport. I really should get this. Is this aligned correctly? So I do need to make sure that is aligned. It is. My QNH has been adjusted to 1015. So that is today's atmospheric pressure. We're not going to be climbing above probably 2,000 feet today. I'm looking at 2,000 feet. And the idea here is going to be to take off, and I'm going to fly climbing at about 500 to maybe 1,000 foot per minute. And we're going to fly all the way over, and we're going to hopefully look at crossing the M11 right here. Once we cross the M11, I'm going to turn down, and I'm going to be heading onto the upwind leg. Upwind leg? That's not right. Hold on, which one is it? That's the upwind leg. Crosswind leg, that's it. Well, I'm going to be flying onto the crosswind leg, then I'll fly all the way down. We're looking to cross the A505, hopefully. Once I can see the A11, I'm going to turn back in. In fact, I think as soon as I cross the A505, I will turn, and then we're going to be flying the downwind leg, which is going to be 05. We're going to turn, follow it all the way along past the wind farms, and we're going to continue past the wind farms roughly towards Newmarket, and at this point we're going to turn back in. I'm going to cross Burwell, hopefully, so I'm looking to cross straight over Burwell and then turn back onto the final. So we'll turn onto final. Hopefully that should bring us straight back into the airport. That is the plan. Whether it goes to plan, I do not know, but that is certainly the plan. As I said, the wind crosswind components is about 13 knots. It is going to be pretty rough, so I am going to be starting with full deflection of my ailerons into the wind, and then we'll see. I'll try and use the rudder to keep myself on the runway, bring the ailerons up, get myself in the air, and make sure that nothing goes wrong. I might pull back Avitab at some point later in this video. Let's go ahead and not do that. Let's go ahead and ensure that my head tracking is sort of set up correctly. There we go, that looks pretty good. Can I look left and right? So right is working, left is working. Flaps are down one stage, that's pretty good. Okay, I think I'm all but good to go. Now I might have to reset my head tracking a few times, unfortunately, but I'm looking like I'm good to go. Brakes have been released. Full deflection into the wind with the ailerons. And I'll use the rudder to help me out here. We're up. Positive rate. Yep, gear up. And you can just see what the crosswind is. There's my crosswind component right there. So I'm letting the aircraft just move off the runway. That's not a problem. I'm not too fussed about that. And now, as I'm accelerating, I'm going to start adding a little bit of rudder in, just slowly, as I accelerate. Whoops. I just knocked my control column a little bit there. There we go. And we're going to try and do a nice climb, sticking around 90 knots as I do this. And given the crosswind component, I'm probably looking at, let me think. It's 230 is the runway heading. I'm probably looking at about 238, roughly. But I'm going to continue the climb. Let's just continue climbing. I can see the M11, and then we'll just go from there. So far it's been okay. I'll bring the flaps in now. There we go. Flaps are in. It has been okay for now. Nothing too serious. And I think at this point I can let the aircraft drift back. There we go. That's pretty good. I think that was a pretty alright takeoff. So doing about 120 knots now. And so we're probably looking at a deflection of about 6 degrees. So 235 should be giving me what I want. 236, 235 should be okay. Still climbing quite nicely. I'm tempted to complete the climb before I turn, but I mean, there's the M11 right there, so I probably already want to be turning. In fact, I am going to go for the turn now. You can see that there are a few little gusts about, but nothing too major. But there are some gusts about. I believe our heading is going to be 140. And there we are. We're almost at 2,000 feet. Oh, this is a little bit gusty. You can just see the aircraft nose. That's not me doing that to the nose. That's the nose moving of its own accord. Right, so that's 2,000 feet. Let's bring that nose down. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay. Right, that's the A505 there. That's the A11 there. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to turn right here. There we go. Now bring that nose down. Bring that nose down. Now, given the airspeed that we're doing now, I should only need a correction of about I'm probably looking at a correction of only about 3 degrees. So I'll have this facing about there. That should do. I'll bring the power back. We're doing a nice healthy 140 knots true airspeed, or 130-ish knots indicated. I'll slow down a little bit. There's the wind farm. So you can see we're definitely going past that wind farm. Let's see if I can stabilise the aircraft in these in this little bit of turbulence. Shouldn't be too difficult. Just turn the aircraft a bit as well. There we go. That's not too bad. That is not too bad at all. One about 0.45 roughly. Somewhere around there. It is a lot harder to fly in a sim than real life, just because you cannot feel what's going on, and obviously unless you've got the really fancy controls, which I do not have, it is a little bit more difficult as well. There we go. There's the airport. That's good. That's the A11 or A14 A11 right there. So, and we should be able to see, I think I can see Newmarket's ahead of me, which is good. Right. Let's reset my head tracking again. There we go, that's a little bit better once again. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their Wednesday and having a lovely day. Maybe enjoying the weather a little bit, going to the park or sitting in your gardens, you know. Whatever you can do. If you're at work or have just come back from work, hopefully you had a lovely day at work. If you're going to be going to work soon, whenever you're watching this, hopefully that goes well. So I'm going to fly, I think I'll fly straight over Newmarket and then turn around. That should give me, I think, is it Barwell? If I just pull up Avitab again, that should give me this one. Burwell, not Barwell. Burwell. That should give me Burwell straight over the over my left wing. So the idea is I'll watch it past my left wing and then I'll turn. That's the plan. This is not going too badly. I have to admit that this aircraft, the trim on this aircraft is not always ideal, but once you've got it trimmed, it's quite nice. This is quite nice once you've got it all trimmed up. So like I have right now, it's very nicely trimmed, so everything is running quite nicely. The only problem is, of course, is that crosswind. That I should really be putting some rudder in for it, but I'm not. This should probably be on as well, but since we're not doing this, I'm just doing a little bit of practice on the crosswinds. Does not really matter. I would have got in a lot of trouble for that though, had that been real, for not having a transponder on. Right, here's Newmarket, so let's see, let's just go ahead and turn. I think we should turn back in and over. So my next heading is going to be 320. Get about 20 degrees of bank. Hopefully, try not to do too much more than that. There we go. And we'll roll out now. Oh, that rollout was very sluggish. Surprised about that. That certainly surprised me. And over here we've probably got about 4 knots of crosswind, I think. maybe 5 knots of crosswind, so I really do not need to worry too much about that. There's a Burwell right there, so I'm going to wait until we go across Burwell. Can I see the airport out there? I think I can. I think it's that there. So we're going to go across Burwell and then we'll turn in and then we'll see if we can establish ourselves properly. You might be able to do this. Holding a nice, stable, steady speed. Again, the crosswind is not having a massive impact on us, but it is having a slight impact when we're like this. Now, what I want to do is I would like to, as soon as I get onto final, I'm going to slow down. Oh, suddenly some lights came on. Right, in fact, I can see the runway there. I'm actually going to turn in. And this is good because at the moment I'm below the glide slope, which is what I wanted. That's the important part. So we're going to turn in 230 and then slow down and start getting ourselves established. Now I'm debating whether to crab the aircraft or to do a wing low method to bring myself down. I'm very much debating that. So first things first, I'm going to slow the aircraft down to a descent speed. So there we go. Mixture can go full rich. I'll start descending now a little because you can see that the lights have come on, and I'm going to actually turn in as I slow down. I'm going to turn in and you can see what my wing is doing, but I'm actually going to crab the aircraft as I start doing this. So I'm going to slow down right here. Get myself fairly stable. I'll deploy the flaps. I'm probably going to go, given the amount of wind there is, the crosswind, I might need to do a full flaps landing here, which is something I've not done, but there's stage 1 of flaps. I'm going to slow down to about 80 knots right now. There we go, and let's continue bringing ourselves down. Like, right, come on. I don't want to be dropping, my vertical speed is dropping quite a bit. Just trying to, there we go. 400-ish knots, that's not bad. Sorry, not 400-ish knots, 400 foot per minute, which is roughly what I want. It's not perfectly what I want, but it's roughly what I want. You can see I'm below the glide still. I'll slow down a little bit more. I do want that 80 knots. Okay, and as I come across these homes here, I'm going to lower my landing gear. That's where things are going to get interesting. That's for sure. So, landing gear deployed. For the drag, I'm going to increase the throttle a little bit to compensate for the drag. And then I'm going to try and hold this. Next stage of flaps. Now I'm just waiting for those lights to go white or half white, half red. There's 70 knots. Come on. There they go. I really do not want to be landing anything less than 65 knots, because with a 15 knot crosswind component, sorry, a 13 knot crosswind component, we're looking at what, come on, do the maths, 30, yeah, it's not going to be an easy one, that's for sure. I'm probably looking at bringing this in at 240. It might be almost 240 at 60, 65-ish knots, but I am going for a full flaps landing. This is the first time I've done this. You can actually see the aircraft balloon as I do that. Whoa! I've never actually landed full flaps in this aircraft before. So this is going to be a whole new... This is going to be very, very interesting. And you can see, as well as that, look at the angle my aircraft is now at, trying to line up with this runway. We are a little bit high, but that's okay. For some reason, when the flaps are full, the very slightest of movements makes a massive impact on my control column. Oh, this is difficult. This is very difficult. I don't like full flaps. I do not like the full flaps landing. That's for sure. I also do not like this crosswind. Not one bit. This is going to be a very, very poor landing. I do apologise to all those that expect really nice landings from me. This is going to be really poor. But we are back down. Ailerons into the wind fully. Using the rudder. There you go. I know it says butter, but that was not a stable approach from me. That was not of my standards, I would say. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this shorter video, and not too long this time. But that was my first shot at crosswind landings for the first time in a very long time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you did, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, complete with the notification bell to see more episodes. Also, or more videos. Also, you can support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out, and you'll also gain access to additional content for the new series that I've got, which is the Ground Up Advanced Flight Sim tutorial. So there are exclusive PDFs for supporters on Patreon, so make sure you do go check that out. Also, you can find me on social media at ECGadgetLP for both Twitter and Instagram. That, overall, I would give myself a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. What would you rate it? Let me know in the comments box below. That was, for me, that was a 6.5 out of 10. Not really much more than that, unfortunately. But that is all from me, and I will see you guys next time in X-Plane 11.